We made it to Friday, Super Scholars. I hope you are having a fantastic day at the end of our new week. Today, we're going to start a new unit, and I know that learning at home is going to be tough when we're starting something new, but I have all the faith in the world that you all can handle it and that you're going to do great. So, I want for you to make sure that you are on the Solve and Share for lesson 12-1. It's on page 627 in your workbooks. I'm going to give you just a second to get there. Okay, so now hopefully you're there. If you're not, pause the video while you get there. Okay, so our solve and share we're going to do today, just like we would do in class. I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to give you a minute to figure it out on your own, and then I'm going to go over it with you. Today's lesson is decimals and fractions. So you're wanting to figure out how fractions and decimals are the same and what they have in common. So according to a survey, 7 out of 10 pet owners have a dog. Use a drawing to show this relationship. Solve the problem any way you choose. So it's not giving you 100% what it wants here, but it wants you to draw a picture, write a fraction, and a decimal that would show 7 out of 10 pet owners having a dog. I'm going to give you just a minute to figure this out, and then I'll work it out with you. Try it on your own. One more minute to see what you come up with. All right, so let's go ahead and go over it. So if I'm looking at survey results and I see 7 out of 10 pet owners have a dog, and I want to think back to fractions since that's what we've just done, I'm going to start off by drawing a picture. Hopefully, your picture was split into how many there are total, which would be 10. Y'all know I'm not a fantastic artist, even in the classroom, so please don't expect me digitally to be a fantastic artist. Okay, so you can see that my grid here is split into 10 pieces. Now, ideally, you would want them to look equal. Mine are a little off, but that's okay. We tried. So as I'm doing this, I'm going to shade in 7 of those 10 pieces. So I have 7 out of my 10 pieces shaded in. You would see that our fraction would then be 7/10. Everybody agree with me so far? Awesome. Okay, so now with decimals, when you want to think about a decimal, you want to think How close is it to 1? Okay, when you're thinking about tenths, you're going to put a decimal point, and then you're going to say it's 0.7. Okay, 0.7 is the same as 7 tenths. We're going to continue this on to the next page as we move on so that you can see it a little bit easier. Here we have our visual learning, and if you all get on the Pearson online platform, it will walk you through step by step how to do the visual learning. You just go in, you go to lesson 12.1, and you can watch it the same way we do in class sometimes. Now, a lot of times we skip over this in class because Miss Gross is there, or Miss Carr, or Miss Burson, or Mr. Copley to walk you through it step by step, so we don't use the videos. But if you want to go on there and watch the video, it will walk you through step by step how to do this visual learning page. I'm not going to go over this part just because you have that resource for you, but if you need help with it, then you are welcome to reach out and ask us. I'm going to skip down here to the convince me at the bottom so that we can see this in the grid view. So it says, would the decimal models for 0.6 and 0.60 be the same or different? Use the grids to explain. So, when we're thinking about decimals, when you just have 0.6, that's saying it's split into tenths, okay? If you have 0.60, that's saying it's split into hundredths, okay? So, when we're looking at the grids, I want for you to color in with me as I color these. So, if I look at the first grid, I'm going to do my 0.6. Now, when I'm looking at this and I'm looking at tenths, do I want to look at each little square or do I want to look at the bars? Hopefully you agree with me and you're saying that I'm looking at the bars because there would be 10 tenths in this 100 grid. Okay, I want to color in 6 of them. So I'm looking at the tenths. I'm going to color this whole bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so I've colored in 6 tenths of this grid. Now, I want to color in 60 hundredths. If this is hundredths and I want to color in 60, am I going to color in the bars or the small squares? I hope you are yelling at me to say the small squares, Miss Gross. Is it going to take us quite a bit of time to color in 60 squares though and count them all out? Yes, it is. But I know that these are in groups of 10, so I really don't have to count all the way down. I know that this is 10. As I go, I can say 20. And if you want to just put dots in each of these, you can, or you can just color down like we did in the other ones. 30, 40, 50, 60. This is 0.60. Are these two grids the same? Have I colored in the same amount? Yes, I have. Hopefully you're giving me your me too signals. We can tell that 60 100ths are the same as 6/10 because they are equivalent fractions. If I multiplied 6/10 by 10, I would get 60 100ths. So these are equivalent fractions, which means their decimals are also equivalent. I'm going to erase before I move on to the next part with you. All right, so at the top of page 629, you will see another example. And this example is what my brain goes to immediately when I think about decimals. I immediately think about money because money is the place where you're going to see decimals the most. This example is just showing you another way that you could draw a picture or a model to help you represent this. So it says show $2.31 using fractions and decimals. So in this picture, they've shown that this one bar is showing $1 because there's 100 cents in a dollar. So it's saying there's 100 100ths here. That's the same as 1. This bar is showing that a dime is worth 0.10, 10 cents, okay? And that's showing there are 10 dimes in a dollar. Then you see here that we have 1 cent because there are 100 pennies in a dollar. The picture, they've shown 100 100ths, 100 100ths. That's the same as 2. 0.30, which would be the same as 3 dimes, and then 1 cent. So they show 100 100ths plus 100 100ths plus 30 100ths plus 1 100th equals 231 100ths, which is the same as $2.31. It's just another example for you. Okay, I do not want you all to feel like you have to draw out number 1. I'm going to do it here with you, but I know that we don't have a lot of space here, and I don't expect you to draw all these hundreds grids to do this. Okay, so I want to do this one with you, but you do not have to draw it. You can just write it with numbers. Okay, so how can we use grids to represent $4.71? Okay, so I'm just going to use bars, squares, and dots to represent it. My bar is going to equal my dollar. My square will equal my tenths, and my dots will equal my hundredths or my pennies. Okay, so I can show $4 with 1, 2, 3, 4 full grids, 4. Need to take some art classes from Mr. Copley. 7 squares and 1 dot. Okay, this would show me $4.71. Okay, this is just how you could use a picture to describe what you're looking at. In fraction form, you could say it was 4 wholes and 71 hundredths, because there's 100 cents in $1. I want for you to look at number 2, and I want for you to write down, what do you think would be the fraction and the decimal for the shaded part of picture in number 2. Take 1 minute and see if you can figure that out on your own. Right? The first thing that I did when I looked at this one was I counted to see what this picture is broken into. So I counted it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, this is split into tenths. Okay, so I know my denominator is going to be 10. It's how many pieces it's split into. Okay, now I need to find out what my numerator is. And we're wanting to know how many is shaded, so you're just going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tenths are shaded. The decimal that would go along with that would be 0.5. Because it's only in tenths, you only have to do 0.5. You don't have to write 0.50 because that would be 50. There aren't 50 tenths, there are only 5 of them. It's equivalent to 0.50, but it's not the same. All right, on your own today, you are going to be working on problems 3 through 6 on your own in this workbook. Then you can challenge yourself by picking one of the questions on the back, that's the word problem, to work out. You only need to pick one today. Okay, so 3 through 6, and then pick one of the word problems on the back today. If you all have questions, make sure that you come to our Zoom office hours at 1 o'clock, and I'm happy to work through any of this with you. Have a great rest of your day, guys.